Okay, welcome. This afternoon, we are meeting as Meta Customization Catalog users. This is the first time that we have had this type of meeting, so we're excited to start today, share with you some of the enhancements to the Meta Customization Catalog that we have had within this school year. Additionally, we want to hear from our external users. We want to hear from you guys, establish our communication a little bit. We don't often meet with you guys, so this again is something new that we want to start. Our intent, our plan is to have these types of meetings on a quarterly basis where we are walking through, again, things that are new to the catalog that we don't want you to miss. We think everything that's added in the catalog is valuable and will provide efficiency and improved work tasks within your PowerSchool environment. So we want to make sure everyone's aware of what's available. Having said that, we do have some of our member districts on the call today. We welcome you as well to this training session. Some of these things you will have heard mentioned within our district leader meetings. There's a lot of information that we share in those meetings, and so you may have missed a few things. So we're glad that you're here as well, that you can get caught up again on what's available within the catalog. So let's get started. We're going to be sharing from one of our training databases that has, this is Apple Grove data, PowerSchool's Apple Grove data, so no student information being shared. We are going to start with the Meta installer. This is something new that has been rolled out as of this school year. With our member districts, we assist in the process of installing the Meta plugins that are associated with the catalog, and our external districts, you have the Meta installer for your availability to install and enable plugins as you see fit within your districts. So the first thing we're going to do is navigate to the installer. So within Applications, Meta Installer, you will see all of the customizations available in the catalog. They have been grouped into these plugin categories, and you can see them listed as such. Within the installer, you will see on the left-hand side all of your active plugins. So these are the plugins that you are currently have installed and enabled in your environment that you are using. On the right-hand side, you will see available plugins. So again, these are plugins that are available for you to use as you would like. When we have updates to any of these plugins on your start page, you will see an indicator, a red indicator on the Meta Solutions logo. Currently, we're up to date in our box, so we're not seeing that indicator, but if there was an update available, you would see that number displayed on your start page in the admin portal. Again, on the installer, this gives you the ability to enable plugins that are best for your district. You can see within your available plugins, if there is something that you would like to install, you simply click the Add button. So that PS.dat reference, that's an important one. That plugin is actually available on the community as well, or on the Exchange, PowerSchool Exchange. But you see, when you add something from the available side, you see it here listed now in your active on the left side, and we're ready to install it. To install, all we need to do is click the Install One Plugin button. This is going through all of the steps with installing a plugin that you would normally have to do within plugin configuration. You would have to go through all of the steps, updating, so on and so forth within those steps, running through all of these, what we can see, the post setup tasks, that is all being done with one click. You can see our tab here. It tells us the status of the installer. So if we had multiple plugins, we had just one that we show here today, but if we were updating multiple plugins, you can have two tabs open and you can toggle between your tabs, and then you would be able to see the status of the installer as you were working in your other tab. This is nice because you have to leave the tab open when you're running the installer, and it'll go through, again, all of those steps on its own, but then you can, again, still be working in that other tab if you would like. Within the installer, you can see the changes, the teal changes button on the plugin categories. Clicking on those gives you an update of what has been changed within that plugin. So if you want to see the changes that have been made before you make any updates, you're welcome to do so. And then there is, in the right-hand side, this is the installer log. So clicking on it, it gives you a list of all of the users and all of the history on the installer log, what has been run and what has been updated, and it gives that version if you needed to see all of that information. So with the Meta installer, if you have questions on how to utilize it, you can refer to the installer documentation, which leads us to showing you how to access our documentation. If you navigate to Applications, Meta Catalog, you will see there are some new navigation links within the catalog. The catalog has had a redesign this school year. We've completely redone how the catalog, it integrates more with the enhanced menu. So we've redone some of these links and added a couple additional links. The Meta documentation link is listed right here. And if you click on that link, you'll open a new tab to the Meta PowerSchool documentation. With customizations or external customizations districts, you will see the customizations documentation. Specifically, we just looked at the installer. You can type in installer, you'll see the documentation, and you can click on that, which downloads the document for you to access and see the information on. Again, this is for any and all of our customizations. We update our documentation and add that. So we want to make sure that you have more information as you need to further explore what customizations do and how they work. So again, looking at our Meta catalog, again, it has a redesign. We have the latest link within the catalog. Latest is going to show you all of the customizations that have been updated or enhanced, or any bug fixes that have gone out, or they're brand new customizations. That will all be located here on our latest release and updates page. You can see, as with customizations and within the catalog, any of our customizations, if you click on them, it gives you your brief description, a longer description, associated screenshots that you can scroll through to see specifically what the customization is doing. And then at the bottom, there's a what's new. So anything that's been, again, updated or added to a customization. And any customization that has any setups or additional information, you'll see a preferences button here in the upper right-hand side that you can click on that will take you directly to those preferences pages. Within the catalog, again, you can enable and disable right here from your latest page. You can simply click on an item to disable or enable it. If you see not installed, so this is a customization that has been grouped into a plugin category that you do not have installed on your environment yet. So when you click on this, it will take you to the Meta installer where we just were. This will move that plugin from the available plugin side over to your active plugin side. And again, you can see that listed as you scroll down. You can see which plugin is associated with that customization and click install if you would like to. So again, that is, and once you install that from the Meta installer, you can come back here to the catalog to enable to use it. So with any of the customizations that you find within the catalog, again, if they're not installed, you will click on those. They'll take you to the installer where you install the plugin But now in order to use the customization, you need to enable the customization. So that is a two-step process when you see not installed. Within the catalog, there is a new link called catalog. It was previously called list all. So now it is called catalog, and it does exactly what it was previously called. It lists all of the customizations. You can see their names, associated categories, and we've added an update date. So you can see when this customization has last been updated. That brief description will be listed here. What we like on this page, the list all, is the status column. We suggest to our catalog users that you navigate to the catalog and click on status to resort this list of customizations. When you click on that, it's going to resort it so your not installed plugins, customizations are listed following your not enabled customizations, and then all of your enabled. This is a good way, again, to see what's available that you are not using within the catalog. You may be interested in some of this items that are available. So we suggest coming to the catalog page, resorting by status to see what's available, what you do not have enabled. Additionally, within the catalog, you can search as you previously were able to do in the past, and you can filter by certain categories if you would like to. Again, to see what is available, what you are using. Within the catalog navigation links, we have added change logs. So this is new this school year as well. Previously within the catalog, the change log was not accessible. So now it is exposed in the navigation link here, change log, and you can see from the change log what release changes were made, what that date was, the customization name, as well as what category that customization is in, and then what's new, what has been changed on that customization. If there was a bug fix, that's going to be labeled as such, and enhancement, again, labeled accordingly. If it's brand new, it's going to show as an initial version. So that's a way to show that there are, it is a new customization. Things that have been changed will be highlighted in blue as a change. So this is a way, again, for you to have information on customizations, what changes took place. That way, you have the ability within your district, if you don't want to update for an enhancement for whatever reason, maybe you don't want that, you don't have to update in the installer if you don't want to. You could see what that enhancement is. We recommend updating. We think, especially when there are bug fixes, of course, but any updates and enhancements we find valuable, and they improve upon the customization's functionality. So we always suggest updating when there's one available.
For our external people, we used to send out the change log in an email, and we find this is much more efficient and effective. You can come and look at it anytime, and it gets that information to you much quicker than us sending you an email.
Absolutely. All right, back to our catalog again. We took a look at the meta documentation link. And over here on the right side is categories. The categories are just as such. These are the plugin categories that you can click on to look at available customizations within the catalog. So we've offered a few different ways on how to look at customizations within the catalog. You as the users can determine which method is best for you when you're looking at things. But again, categories is a good way to look at items. Again, if you have a specific group of users within your district that their task is maybe related to health, you could look at the health customizations to get their input if they want any of these customizations that they would find useful, again, with their daily tasks. Any questions so far on the installer or the catalog itself? And feel free to use the chat. We're looking at the chat as well as unmuting yourself. We will also offer a few minutes at the end of today's session for questions and answers as well. All right. We also wanted to mention, as we were talking about the Meta installer, that is specific to the Meta customizations catalog. But what we have added as well is community plugins. And so that is located within system management, customizations, community plugins. Community plugins is a way for districts to maintain and see any updates that are available within their district, those plugins that are non-meta. Currently within our test box, we can see we don't have any plugins that are currently have updates available. But what we can see is you see the tiles over here on the right-hand side. We can click on these for more plugin information. So we can see when we click on the not enabled tile, we had 0 updates. We have 4 not enabled. What this is telling us is we have these 4 plugins. We have them installed in our box, but we don't have them enabled. They're saying not enabled. So these are ones maybe that you as a district, you want to look at. Do you want to continue to have it installed? Do you want to enable it? All of those choices are available. You'll notice this first plugin that's listed under not enabled, it has the version numbers. So this is showing us that currently we have, again, we have it installed, log entry management. We have version 24.6.0, but there is a version 25.1.0 version update available. So this not only tells us, again, what we have not enabled, but it's telling us we have an update available. If we had this plugin installed and enabled, it would have shown as an update on our updates tab. When we see this information here, we can click on the link, the version number, that will take us where to access that updated version, or we can click on the download icon to download that updated version. Clicking on not enabled will take us, and you can see as you hover over these items, it's going to give you information on where you're being taken. If we click on not enabled, it's taking us to plugin configuration, and that's where we can enable that plugin accordingly. These action icons here, you can see as we hover over the question mark, it highlights yellow. We can click on that to give us an expanded version of these icons telling us what we're doing when we click on these icons. With these plugins within community plugins, if there's an update available and we don't want to update this plugin, we have the option to skip it. Configure will take us to plugin configuration. Voting, you'll see with all of the plugins within community plugins, you have the ability to vote on them. If you have a plugin within your district that you have installed, you have it enabled and you use it and you like it, you have the ability to vote for it. When you vote for it, you'll see the suggested number will reflect your vote accordingly. If you have a vote, maybe you didn't want to vote, you simply click it to remove that vote. Community plugins, this customization is available within the catalog. It is also available on the Exchange. So this is not only our Meta member districts, not only our catalog users districts. This is anyone who downloads this from the Exchange is able to use it. So we have lots of feedback from various users with these plugins. Email, you can click on this icon to email the publisher of the plugin if you have a question. When you click on email, it'll open up your email as well as it will populate the send to on the email, and the subject will reference the plugin name. And then you can edit information as needed. If there was any information on the plugin that was updated and needs to be reflected accordingly, you could edit if you would like. On the not installed tile, these are plugins that are not installed and as such not enabled on in our box right now, but you can see they have been suggested by various users. So you can navigate through here to take a look at any plugins that are used again throughout any of those community plugins users, see any that have been voted that you might be interested in using. You can see if it is something that does cost money, there is an icon reflecting that accordingly, that it is not a free plugin. And then your up-to-date will show, again, all of those non-meta plugins that are current and up-to-date. And you can see if you've skipped any versions, that's going to be listed here as well. And again, there's information in our documentation repository on community plugins, giving a little bit more detail on using how you would want to use that within your district that you can access. Any questions? Okay. All right. So let's move on to some of our customizations again that have had some redesign, some updates, enhancements this school year. We're going to start with Mass Consolidate. So on the People category, Contacts, Mass Consolidate Contacts. The Mass Consolidate Contacts page has been redesigned. You'll notice when you navigate here, you'll see the legend of information is down at the bottom. Again, we're in a test box with lots of information, so I'm going to scroll past all of this contacts listed here to show you. The legend, it was previously located at the top. It's now here at the bottom. Again, just telling you how Mass Consolidate is grouping those contact records together as potential duplicates within your environment. Within Mass Consolidate, you'll see when you click on the number of records or the contact name, the quick info, quick view summary pop-up modal has also been enhanced this school year. We've added additional information on here with the associated students. And as well as you can see, the matching method is now being listed. So now when you open that quick view, you can see those contact records and you can see how Mass Consolidate group them together by student address, email, and phone, which are highlighted here as well. And again, with our Mass Consolidate, there's also the advanced option. Again, it's going to default to basic. That is our recommendation when you are using Mass Consolidate. Our recommendation is to go through all of those records found in the basic search and then navigate to advanced by toggling over here on the right-hand side. You'll see advanced. Again, it's using that fuzzy logic to identify those contact records as potential duplicates. We do suggest that Mass Consolidate be run on a pretty regular basis. You can determine what that looks like within your district. If you have students and contacts coming and going, you're a larger district, you may want to come to Mass Consolidate maybe once a week or once every other week. If you're a little bit smaller district, maybe you want to come once a month. But again, this is something that you would want to visit on a pretty regular basis to maintain your contact data, keeping it clean and up to date. Any questions with Mass Consolidate? All right. We'll keep on moving to, we want to now go to the Alert Builder. So within District Management, Applications, Alert Builder. Alert Builder. So there has been a lot of new things added to the Alert Builder. And one of the bigger items I'm going to pull up here is within PowerTeacher Pro. So I have a teacher portal here. I'm going to go ahead and navigate to PowerTeacher Pro, and I'm going to pull up some students, our favorite student, Brandon. And I'm on Brandon's assignments, but you'll notice the alerts are now available and exposed within the PowerTeacher Pro student pages. You can see the alerts and click on them to see associated information with those alerts that have been built or downloaded from community within the alert builder. So all of these alerts that we're seeing on Brandon's pages come from the alert builder, and they are available to be seen in PowerTeacher Pro. So this is a big one that we announced this year that was obviously a big hit with the teachers. They wanted to be able to see those alerts within PowerTeacher Pro. So now when you're on those student pages, you can access the information accordingly with those associated alerts for the students. And you can see that when you navigate back here in the admin portal, when you're building alerts, you will see the PowerTeacher Pro column. You'll see student pages. It used to be grayed out. Again, this was new this year, and so it's no longer grayed out. You can select any alerts you would like to be seen in PowerTeacher Pro. You can select those accordingly with the check mark. With PowerTeacher Pro, you'll notice the alert page is grayed out. This is in development, but what it will be is a dedicated alert page within PowerTeacher Pro. So again, not the teacher portal, but PowerTeacher Pro. This will be a specific page that will list all of a teacher's students within their courses and associated alerts for those students. That is currently in development and not available as it's grayed out, but it will be coming soon. So we wanted to mention that. With the alert builder, we've also added, if you're building an alert, you can click add. When you're building an alert, we have added within the trigger the ability to, when you're selecting your field, we have some of the comparators, contains and does not contain, that you can use for various purposes. If you wanted, street contains Graymont for Brandon Adair, you can use that. Or, medical alert contains bees. Just a couple of examples. You can use those comparators now when building an alert. That might be helpful within your buildings, your districts. With the alert builder, we also recommend to our districts that you put on your calendar to come to the alert builder and click on the community tab every so often, maybe once a month or however often again you would like to come here. But we have added various alerts to community that you might find useful within your district. Again, depending on the tasks and roles of users within your districts, you may want to see an alert for a student for a specific person or purpose that somebody else has already created. You can see the alert icon and a brief description, the name, as well as who created it. When we build alerts here at Meta, we share those out onto the community so others can use as well. As we update them, you'll see information listing what has been updated, and you can download any updates on specific alerts that you have already downloaded. If you find an alert that you want to use, you simply click on the download button and it will download that alert to your alerts tab. So if I click on download, I can see it's turned to downloaded, and I can go back to my alerts and find that other alert that I just downloaded. When you download from the community, as a reminder, you will want to click on the alert because we see that we have the alert downloaded here. It is not automatically pushed out to any of the portals that we see listed here. This is where, again, you as a district, you have downloaded the alert. So now you can open the alert. Not only can you select, or you would want to select which portals you want to push this alert out to, but you can change any of the information. If you want to select a different icon, you could do that. Any of this information is now editable for you within your district. When you are looking at these alerts that you download from the community, you do want to note sometimes alerts other users have built and they've shared out, they may be associated to the trigger is a custom field. That custom field is specific to their district that you may not have in your district. So when you download the alert, you could change the trigger if you have a similar field within your district, or you could create a custom field similar to what the district who created the alert is using. And once you create that custom field, you could use the alert accordingly. You'll notice when you are building a new alert or you're opening and working with an alert that you've downloaded from the community, you will see the submit without portals. This is letting me know I haven't selected any portals, and I can submit without portals. If I select a portal for this to be displayed onto, I will now see a validate and submit. So the alert builder is going to run through the information on the alert. It's going to make sure everything is valid. If there are any errors detected, you would see a pop-up modal appear with information on what the error is. It gives you information on that error, and you're able to go back and edit the alert and correct that error, or you can save the alert again without portals. It'll tell you on the pop-up to submit without portals, and you can then address again, if it's a custom field that maybe you need to create, you can do that and then come back to the alert. There's also, we are also available if you have questions, not only about Alert Builder, but with anything that we cover today, anything and all at all that's related to the customization catalog. Always we have our help desk email that you can reach out to us with any questions on any of these items. With the Alert Builder, we also have Alert Builder reports. If you'll remember on the other alert we had, we did not select any portals for the alert to go to, but we do have it downloaded and it's sitting here ready for us to edit. But we can run a report on this alert. Even though we don't have it pushed out to any portals, we're still able to run the report. So to access Alert Builder reports, we would navigate to Data and Reporting, Meta Alert Builder Reports. And a pop-up is going to display if we don't have any students selected. So I'm going to make a selection of students, and I'm actually going to, just like our pop-up here allows us to, I'm going to narrow it down a little bit. We have, the more students you have, the Alert Builder will run accordingly because it's looking through all of those students. I'm just going to select a small group here. And we'll just update and continue. And again, Alert Builder reports, when we navigate to this page, it's going to show us all of the alerts on our alerts tab. Again, we can run alerts for the selected students that we have. I have a small amount of students, and if I click that other alert, I can see it ran through. There were 0 of those students with that other alert. So if they did have other in there, it would display them. If we get a different group of students here on our start page, let's clear this out. Brandon is usually our student with a lot of things. So we'll select him and we'll go to the Alert Builder reports. And you'll see it lists all of the information listed with the specific alert. We can refresh and search multiple alerts if we wanted to. As we go through the Alert Builder reports, it's going to show us the students within our search results that have those alerts and any of the information from that alert. With this group of students, what is nice, we can now make this group of students our current selection that was found. We can print this if we want for our records, or we can export the data to a CSV file. So the Alert Builder reports is handy to have, again, for whatever purpose you need to search for students within your environments that have specific alerts. You can use the Alert Builder reports. Any questions about Alert Builder or the reports? Okay. We have, since we're talking about alerts, we do want to let you know within the Meta catalog. So again, that's applications, Meta catalog. If you go to the alerts category, within the alerts category, we have labeled some of the alerts located in here as legacy alerts. So you'll see all of the alerts that have appended at the end legacy alerts. What this means is these are alerts that were created and added to the catalog a while ago, and districts you might be using some or all of these alerts within your environments. We are now using the Alert Builder. So these alerts, attachment found, contacts at a glance, cross enrollment, and you can go through, there's a few of them listed here. All of these alerts have been built in the Alert Builder. So what we are letting our districts know, all catalog users know, is to navigate to the Alert Builder and to find those legacy alerts. And I'm going to open a second tab here to show you. You'll want to go to the Alert Builder. You'll want to search for those legacy alerts on the Community tab. And you'll want to download them. So cross enrollment was one of them that we've downloaded. And you can see you're going to go through each one of these and you're going to download them from the Community tab. So document attachments, we want to download that. Again, remembering when we download, we can now come and select which portals to push that alert out to. We are letting all of our catalog users know that this will need to be done because these legacy alerts within the catalog are going to be removed at our back to school release in September. So by September, these legacy alerts, they will no longer be available within the catalog. You will need to be using them via the Alert Builder. So again, if you are using any of these alerts that you can see within applications, Meta Catalog, the alerts category, look and see which ones you have enabled, and then make sure you go to the Alert Builder to download them from the Community tab to use within your district. And again, PowerTeacher Pro is an option with these alerts, as with all of the alerts built in the Alert Builder. All right, we do have an alert that we want to tell you that's new this year. That is not a legacy alert. It's a new one, and it is actually separate from the alerts category. So I'm going to navigate to the Meta Customizations catalog, and I'm going to look for, it's called Class of Alert. So this Class of Alert, it will show a class of and then year for students who have already graduated. So students within your graduated building, if you want to see what year they graduated, this class of alert will do so. If I switch to my graduated building and I pull up my students, we have this enabled in our test box here. So we can pull up a student. We will see on those student pages that class of alert. So again, this is going to display for your graduated students. And sometimes, since they're all, once they go to the graduated students building, they're given the grade 99. Sometimes searching for students might be a little bit difficult. This is an easy way to see their graduated year. So we like that one, wanted to share that. And I'm going to switch, and you'll notice our school term variance. This lets me know I had 2 tabs open. Within this tab, I switched to my graduated students. So when I come back to my Meta Solutions tab here, it's letting me know I'm in a different school. So I refresh my page and it'll take me to the graduated students building where I was at last. But I actually want to go to the district office, so I'm going to select district office. But that's nice to, again, it also works for school year, the term. If I were to switch to 25-26, I'm in the district office, I'm in 25-26. If I click my tab, now I can see both school and term have been changed in my other tab. So that's nice to see when you have multiple tabs open. All right, so we're back at our district office. We're going to pull a student up. Again, we'll pull our favorite here, Brandon. And one of our customizations that had a major redesign this year is our student line. If you'll notice the student line, we've added the ability to format the fields, the values, the information that is being displayed on the student line. You can customize this within your district however you would like. With student line, we'll go back to our start page, and within people, students, student line, you will see, again, a redesign of the student line settings. So you can see we have some tabs up here at the top. We have the admin student pages, the teacher student info, the public, the parent view of the student line, and the public student view of the student line. And as we click on each of these tabs, you'll notice the preview accordingly updates for how you have set up your student line. With student line, the preview is nice. You can drag and drop items as you do so. As we drag, maybe we want counselor to come to the front here. We see that preview right in live time. So that is really handy to see as you're working with your student line, what it would look like. It also is letting you know as you make changes, it's letting you know you have not saved them yet. So if you try and navigate away from this page, you're going to see your changes have not been saved. So you'll want to make sure to save those. With student line, you'll see here it is using data access tags. So you are able to, within your student line, display data access tags as needed within your district. We have GPA, we have counselors. Again, previous information that wasn't being able to be displayed is now available. When you come to this student line settings, you can add a field by clicking add field, and you'll see this is where you can enter your data access tab. Giving an example, if you click within this box here, you can select the field that you're wanting. Again, that you want to be, if there was a specific field that you wanted, and I just clicked the first one there, activities band. If I wanted to see the student was in band, you'll see that data access built or that information being built as you select your field. You can label your items accordingly as you would like. You can edit the information with your edit info that slides out here on the right-hand side. Again, to edit as needed. And then if you've added something you no longer want, You can click the delete that highlights it, again, letting you know to save your changes. When you come to student line settings and you're setting all of your items up, you'll notice this admin default style. So if you click on admin default style, the slide out appears, and this is where you have choices on how you want your student line to be formatted. With our student line, you can see we wrap the information. We gave some color to it. We highlighted the student name, and all of this information can be done individually on each row, or with admin default style. If you want the same information for all of your fields, you can first set up your admin default style. For example, with each of our fields, we appended a colon after the N, so you can see that. We gave all of our items a royal blue. We gave them a border. All of that, we set that up and we saved that. We see all the information, but maybe now we want the first name to be different. This is where you can edit individually items, and we wanted to highlight in gold that first name. So again, you can customize this any way you would like to within your district. As you set this up, again, you save your changes. This is again for the admin portal, and you do the same within your teacher and public portal. What information you want to be displayed on the student line in those portals accordingly. With student line, we also have staff line. So within our people, staff line. And again, it's letting me know I made changes that I did not save on this page. Do I want to leave or do I want to cancel? So that's a good reminder if you make any changes to save them before you go. I went ahead and canceled mine, but again, if you want to preserve your changes, make sure you save your page. Staff line settings. This is letting you know within the admin portal. So this is within the admin portal on the staff pages. Same idea. You're selecting what you want to have displayed on that staff line, and this is again in the admin portal. You can add any of those data access tags, pulling accordingly information as you need to have it displayed. Same idea that you can set a default style for all of the fields and the values, and then individually editing them as needed. Any questions with staff line or student line?
Sally, we do have,
Yes.
if you want to loop back to Alert Builder.
Yes.
We have an HB 410 alert question.
Okay.
Okay. Does this alert appear for all students who have met the threshold, regardless of if they have an FT record reported? If so, is there a way to make it to where only students who do not have an FT record for the current year reported and have met the threshold would have the alert show? And I will say, before Sally talks about this, you can do lots of different things. Just because this one does one thing doesn't mean that you can't add a different alert or edit that alert.
So for this HB 410 threshold alert, if we take a look at it, I don't believe it is doing what you currently want it to do, but that is where we can assist and we can help with the FT record as you want it to be displayed. Once you have this HB 410 threshold, you've downloaded this alert. Again, this is the information showing us how the trigger is pulling the data, what those thresholds are for displaying this specific alert. Some districts we've had, for those of you who don't know, HB 410, that is a specific Ohio attendance threshold for students meeting certain attendance thresholds when they're absent for so many hours. And again, with this alert, some districts are using the HB 410 threshold and then have additional attendance alerts that they have created for those variances that they want to see, like you have mentioned. So I would suggest you can submit a ticket to us and we can work with you on getting that alert built as you need it to display.
Great. The other question was about the new alert. We just created this alert yesterday, and again, this is Ohio only for the suicide hotline. We have a new Senate bill in Ohio where they are requiring, as of April 9th, the suicide hotline number be on a student-facing page. I believe the law doesn't say it has to be on every page, but it has to be probably when a student logs in. And so we had been looking for different solutions for that. One was adding it to your custom message when a student logs in. You could have that information right there. Problem with that is if they use OIDC, they don't see that message when they log in after the first time. So we created an alert, and it is called 988, I think it's called Ohio 988 Suicide Hotline, that will display the suicide hotline number as well as a link to the website for 988 for their suicide hotline website.
And we can go ahead and keep going.
We can put that on the portal, we can put it on the student, you can put it on the teacher, but really it is only required by law on the student. What Sally has on the screen here is an example of the message where she's put that message in, and then she also has an example of the alert.
Mm-hmm. So you can see, so this is the alert. It is, we built it to display for all students. Like Sarah said, it has the information provided here. You can, if you download this alert, like all of the other alerts, you can edit it as needed. It is built with a link to the 988 Crisis Lifeline for Ohio, so that you click on it and the students could access as needed. So that is what we have. We have built to kind of help with the requirements for that bill. Again, like Sarah said, if you're using OIDC with your students, they bypass that sign-in page, but would have the alert in their portal that they could click on for the information.
And then we have another question, and unfortunately, the question is, do the alerts show if students are using the PowerSchool app, so the mobile app? These customizations work if a student signs into the portal. We do not have a way to add all our customizations to the mobile app. That is developed totally differently. We don't have access to that. And so, Christy, the answer to that one is no.
What we suggest to students and parents, guardians alike that access PowerSchool via their devices, we suggest that they log into their browser on their device and access PowerSchool. The mobile app, like Sarah said, would not provide that information, those alerts. Good questions.
Okay, I think we're caught up on questions, Sally.
Okay, all right. So we were talking about student line. So let's talk about the student info card. This is something that's been familiar for those of you who have maybe enabled this and using it. You know, when you're on student pages, you can click on the silhouette that opens student information, summary information listed here. We have some default values that you can use to be displayed, and you can edit it as you would like within your district. But what we have now added is, if we pull up staff, we now have staff info card. So you'll see the silhouette on the staff pages that also, when clicked upon, will show staff information. Again, we have default fields available to pull for your staff info card. You can edit that as you would like. If you would like to edit those fields or enable or use that and customize those fields, you can do so by navigating to People, Staff, Staff Info Settings. If you are already using the student information card, if you have that customization enabled, you already have staff info card available. These work together. So if you're using student info card, you're going to see that silhouette on your staff pages. But when you go to your staff pages, if you have not set up the staff info settings, you won't see any data yet displaying. So again, People, Staff, Staff Info Settings, you can load the default values that we have set up here, or you can edit those again as needed for what you want to see when clicking on that silhouette icon on your blue navigation bar. So another way to easily access your staff info if you need it while you're on the staff pages. Okay. Sarah, we had just talked about OIDC with when we were talking about the PowerSchool app. So OIDC authentication security is a hot topic amongst PowerSchool right now, given the climate of things with the security breach that happened in December. So districts are looking at tightening their security, and they are looking at single sign-on, which OIDC authentication in PowerSchool does provide. If your district is utilizing OIDC authentication to have students or staff or teachers sign on, we do have a customization available that assists with maintaining those global identifier fields. So within system management, security, OIDC, global ID sync. So again, this customization is for those using OIDC authentication. As new students are enrolled, as new staff are brought on, teachers onboarded, as you have those either manually entering them or you have a third-party registration program that brings that data over. If it's bringing over the core email information, this customization allows you to sync those emails to the global identifier field. It's going to, when you navigate to this page, it's going to identify your students, your staff, and your teachers that have, again, that email, that core email in PowerSchool, but it does not have a global identifier. So it's going to list all of those users accordingly within the user group, and you can sync the user group as needed to populate that global identifier field. You know, as you walk through the process, you had to use Data Import Manager to import those global identifiers. That is what this customization is using. It is using Data Import Manager to import the global identifiers as the email. So again, you can it'll default to have all of your user groups selected, but you can uncheck that and you can select a few at a time if you want for whatever purposes you would like, and you can sync accordingly. When you sync, it will take you to the data import page, results page. Sometimes you have to refresh the results page. All of us know when we use Data Import Manager, that results page, we have to be patient until the results load, and it will show you those results. All right, we have another addition that has been worked on this school year and will continue to be worked on. Those of you that are the technology department within your districts and you look at system logs, we do have within system management, server, enhanced system log viewer. So again, this is something that is continuing to be continuing work on, and you'll see updates to it. We are in a test box now, so note that this information is not as clear as it would be if it was a production box. But as you look at the various information logs that you're looking at, again, for whatever purpose within your district, when you're looking at the process logs, you'll notice a details column over here on the right. What we have been adding is some of those more common error messages that are identified. We will add a details link here that will pop up and show you specifically what that error is saying. There is also going to be a suggested resolution. So if it's something that can be resolved within your district, it'll show you that suggestion for you to take a look at. So this is nice, again, for those of you within your district that look at system logs and see various errors and things. You'll know that when you clean up errors, obviously your database in your environment is going to run more quickly, which everybody enjoys when things move quickly within their environments. So that is something, as we get more information, more details on, again, some of these common errors that show, we will be adding to those details. All right, let's take a look. Actually, we have it right here on my first tab. We have Brandon Adair. We're going to take a look at his page. We are actually on the office visits page. So this is within the student pages, health office visits. A newer customization that has been added is this additional office visits found information right here. So we can see Brandon Adair, he has one office visit from this year. There are 3 additional office visits found. When we click on that 3 and apply, here we can see those additional office visits found from previous years. So it will show all of that information. Again, when you're coming to office visits, it's going to default to only show your current year information. If your health staff need to see those previous visits for whatever reason, it's going to identify the number of additional records found and then offer the availability to display those as needed. All right, let's navigate. We're going to go to a school building, and we are going to now look at our configure calendar page. Right now is a time where you're looking at building next year, the configure calendar, getting things set up for next year, preparing all of your end of year tasks. I know that's a discussion that we've been starting with as well, taking a look at the next year. But within configure calendar, you will now notice we have some enhancements that we've made to this page. When you make a change to any items here within configure calendar, you know that you previously you have to scroll to the bottom of the page to click submit to save your changes. You still have to scroll to the bottom to click submit, but what we've done is add this banner here at the top, this yellow unsaved changes pending. Previously, if you make any changes and you navigate away from this page, you lose your changes and you don't know it. So now as you make changes, it's going to let you know that you have unsaved changes before you navigate away. Additionally, if we click a different month, we haven't saved our changes, this pop-up is also going to appear. Leave, your changes may not be saved. So we can click cancel and we can scroll down and submit to save our changes. This is helpful, again, as this time of year as you're working with your calendars, getting those for next year set up, as you may be going back and forth between these months. If you forget to save your changes, it's frustrating to go back and make all of those changes. So those 2 things, alerting you of unsaved changes, that's hopefully going to help out with that. Within the calendar as well, we have a customization called 100 Days Smarter. So this 100 Days Smarter customization, it will display for the 100th day of school. A lot of the school buildings in districts here, they celebrate, particularly with their elementary students, they celebrate the 100th day of school. If that's something that your district maybe wants to use or acknowledge, you can enable that customization and it will display on the 100th day based on your calendar here on Configure Calendar. You also have the ability to edit this customization. If you want this alert to display on the 101st day of school, you could edit that as needed. You can also edit the text that displays. If you wanted it to say 100 days wiser, whatever it may be, you can edit that accordingly within that customization's preferences. So a few things here with calendar. All right, we're at a building. So now we're going to navigate to school management, academics, calculate honor roll. So we have recently added an honor roll update customization. So this honor roll update customization, it is going to identify any existing honor roll records found. Previously, when you were calculating honor roll, within your building, you would calculate honor roll, and maybe there was some edits to some grades that needed to take place within the grade book, or and then restoring those grades. When those grade changes took place and the building needed to rerun the honor roll, they had to first navigate to DDA. They had to locate those honor roll records, delete them, and then rerun honor roll. So this honor roll update customization, it is eliminating the need of going to DDA. If you have your selection of students, you have your store code that you want to run the honor roll for, and you've selected your honor roll method, again, it is going to identify those honor roll records found, and you can update and submit. So it's going to update those 35 existing records and then go through all of the currently enrolled, all of the students you have selected. And you can see as we ran through, it was telling us in that dialogue that it was updating, and we can see all of our honor roll calculation that it ran through. So that is honor roll update. And again, as you put in your information, it's going to display here in this little note and let you know what you're updating. If you come to honor roll, calculate honor roll, and you enter your information, if there are no records found, it will say submit. It'll say 0 records found. So this is helpful, kind of eliminating a couple of steps when those situations happen and you have to rerun your honor roll. All right, school year identification. We looked at this a little bit earlier. We are currently in the 24-25 year. If we go to a future year, the school year identification customization, it displays this green banner that lets us know that we are in a future year. It also gives us the ability to click on to go to the current year if we want. Likewise, this works if we're in a past year. So if we go to last year, 23-24, this banner now, orangish yellowish banner now displays that we are in a prior school year. Again, we're able to click on the link to change to a current year. This is helpful, again, right now as you are working in the 25-26 school year, making some updates for preparing for end of year. This is a nice customization to have enabled to let you know that you are working in the 25-26 school year. And then when you're done with your updates there, you can simply click on to go back to your 24-25 year. This customization school year identification. It is currently in the catalog. You can find it within the catalog, school year identification, see if you have it enabled. We are asking that you look to see if you have it enabled, because what we have done currently, you can see it is a customization. We do have it enabled. But what we have done is we're adding school year identification into its different plugin. So when you navigate to Meta Installer, you will see school year identification is listed under available plugins. Because this customization is going to be pulled out into its own plugin, you will want to add this plugin through the Meta Installer, add, and then install one plugin. The customization you're going to leave enabled because, again, right now is the time that you're working in next year. So we want you to still be able to utilize this. Adding this plugin, we are going to make this plugin, school year identification, how that customization is installed and enabled in your environments. It is, the customization is going to be removed from the catalog this November. So we're giving districts plenty of time to utilize this customization, especially this time of year. We want you to be able to use that. You will be able to continue using that. Before November, you will need to come and install this plugin via the installer if you want to continue using it after November. Any questions with the school year identification or anything so far? Okay.
Sally,
yes.
is it better to wait until November?
That is up.
Install it now.
Yeah, if you can install it now, it's not going to hurt anything to have the plugin installed and the customization enabled at the same time. You can do that. It doesn't hurt anything if you want to wait until November. We just would strongly encourage you put it on your calendar to make sure you don't forget then in November to make sure to install that. And, you know, we will be sending reminders similar to the legacy alerts. We want to make sure that we send out as many reminders as possible, because if you are utilizing these things, we want you to continue utilizing them in their new locations. So I guess it is a preference on your part if you want to do that now or wait.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's go back. Now we're going to talk about report card, our Meta online report card. A lot of districts and catalog users are using the report card. We love the report card, the functionality of it being a dynamic report card. It instantly shows information as students, as grades are stored, as standards are scored within the grade book. It displays that instantly, as well as when students are enrolled in courses, that information displays instantly. Any grade scales associated with those courses, all of that happens instantly, which makes our report card fantastic. We've had lots of enhancements to the report card this year. For a detailed list of those enhancements, you could navigate to the change log to see information on the report cards. Lots of things that have taken place, but some of them that we wanted to highlight today. We've optimized a lot of the queries. The queries are pulling data to be displayed on the report card. Optimizing those means that the report card runs faster. It's loading faster and it's building more quickly. If you are running report cards, we do have a mass print option. If you're running mass print for report cards, we do still suggest that you use a small subset of students that you are running those report cards for. Again, the more students you have, the more data that is being collected and run through with those queries. We continue to work on the report card, those optimizations, but we have made a significant progress this year with the report card. We've additionally added some items to the report card. There's additional label. You are able to update certain labels, and we'll take a look at the report card settings page. And it switched me to the high school. That's perfect. You can see within the labels, these are our containers as they are labeled accordingly. As you click on those containers, you'll see the settings appear. We've added some additional information, again, those labels that you can update accordingly. Within the general container, we've added school address, school phone, principal, superintendent. Those were items that districts wanted to be able to rename, relabel those titles. So we've added that flexibility in. You'll know as you click on any of these settings, you'll see that slide out appear. That functionality is still the same, but some additional information that we have added. We've also added some items. These were things, again, that a lot of our districts were requesting for courses. We had the request enrolled, withdrawn, or enrolled and withdrawn. So this is a big one that was added this year, the ability to show those courses as the district would like. Additionally, excuse me, within our settings, we have the little go-to icons. Previously, the text was bolded to indicate that it would open in a new tab, taking you to the specific pages. But we've added the little icon that's just a little bit more visible, again, of what will be done when you click on this. It's going to take you to those specific pages. With user roles that I clicked on from our courses container, we've added co-teacher. If you have co-teaching user roles set up within your district, on the Meta report card, you can add those co-teachers if you want them to be displayed. This was another item that was requested by a few districts, so we added the ability to see those co-teachers on the report card as you would like to have seen. Also within the courses, you can see we've added some course number, we've added course tardies, lots of different additions to the report card. When you navigate to your report card, and I'm going to hop over to one of our other test boxes to show you, when we make updates to the report card, you may notice that when you navigate to your report card settings, that you will see a yellow section of settings highlighted. We want to show you what that is. Those are what we are calling legacy report card settings. The legacy report card settings, they are the settings that you had in for your report card, and we've added something new. So now you need to update that setting because the previous setting has been, is now a legacy setting. For example, we talked about the enrolled courses, enrolled and withdrawn. So our districts may have noticed this legacy settings found with enrolled courses. Where you have to update your selection. Your report card is still running as you have it set up. This doesn't hinder your report card. It is still displaying as you had those legacy settings defined. This is just letting you know you can now update according to the new settings that have been updated or added. So in this example, we have attendance in our legacy settings found. If I click on that, you're going to see a lot of information. You're going to see like the code information here that we have. As you're looking through this, what you want to see is what you previously had selected. So for these two items, I can say I previously had display none. That is what my report card is running for days absent. When I click on that, I can select do not display, display none. And as I make those, again, I see what I previously had selected. As I make those selections and I hit submit, then I will see the legacy settings will go away. I've updated my legacy settings. If you navigate to your settings page, you see some legacy settings and you're not sure what you are looking at, feel free to reach out to us. We're able to tell you, looking at that information, what your previous selection was, so you can update accordingly. All right, back to the report card. We've also added within this school year, we've added an edit mode to the report card. Edit mode is what we use here at Meta when we're looking at report cards with districts. It helps us see what information is being pulled and what information is being displayed. It is very useful. You may also find it useful as you look at your report cards. This little pencil box grade out here on the right-hand side when you're on the report card on the student pages, if you click on that, that is enabling edit mode. There's a lot on this page. As you scroll down, you will see all of the information that is being pulled for a report card. The information that is grayed out that we can see here compared to the information that's being displayed, we can tell this is the information that is displaying on our report card versus the information that is not being displayed. All of these elements on the report card, we are able to click on and see more information. Not only are we able to see more information on these elements, if we needed to make a change right here to our report card, we could do so. I clicked on the course number. I could click edit and a slide out appears. It's telling me that it's showing the courses. If I wanted to update this, I could change those settings right here and click submit and see that change on the report card from edit mode. Again, all of these elements you're able to click on and change as you would like. Again, clicking those items, clicking edit. If it says student ID, we just want it to say ID. We can submit and see that change take place right here from the student page, the report card. So again, this is helpful information when you're looking at the student report card, what is being pulled. You'll notice with the grades and the information that's being displayed, the scores for standards. With grades, you're seeing whether those are coming from the grade book or from historical grades. And we can tell that if we scroll to the bottom. Again, a lot of information on this page in edit mode because it's showing everything. But we're seeing in blue those course grades, in green those final grades. Again, the grayed out items, those are disabled. You can see that legend here at the bottom to help you understand what you're looking at. Again, we use this when looking at report cards. You're welcome as well to use this as you're looking at report cards. If you want to make like any changes right here, you can do so. What you'll notice is right here in the upper left-hand corner, this is a student number listed here. We are in edit mode, so we're seeing all of the data. When we click on edit mode and we go out, we don't see that number anymore here. What that is it is a student number. It's hidden, it is there, but that number is sometimes being used for some third-party programs that send out report cards. So if your district is a district that utilizes any of those programs that email out the report cards to various individuals, it needs a student number to be able to send correctly. So we've added that student number to assist with that within your districts if you're using that.
An example of that would be something like School Messenger that saves everything as a PDF and then it mails out the PDF. It needs that number in that place.
Mm-hmm.
Sally, we do have another question on
Yes.
the edit mode. How can we check to make sure that the edit icon is not readily available to SIS users?
That is a good question. So I will have to follow up with that unless Corey,
There's
let's see.
Corey.
He's
Yeah, there's
answering. There we
Corey.
go. If the admin user has modify access to the report card settings page, then they will see this icon. So any users that you would not want to have this edit mode access, they would need to make sure that they don't have modify access to the report cards. Very good question. Thank you, Corey. And within the report card settings page, if we go onto that general container, the security settings section at the bottom, you can see those report card settings. I'm logged into our test box so I can see I have access. And then there's information listed here to modify report card settings as needed. Okay. Any questions about the report cards? Again, there is a lot of updates that we've made to the report cards. You can look at the full detailed list within the change log. We just highlighted some of the ones that we've had this school year, but certainly edit mode is one that we wanted to let everyone know about.
Another big one is the ability to add up to 12 custom fields up in that student information area, where, right now we allow you to put a whole lot of stuff there or not put a whole lot of stuff there. But you can add your own custom fields.
Mm-hmm. And that is what's being displayed right here that we're looking at on the report card, right underneath the student name and grade. This line right here are your custom fields. Within your report card settings, you can, within the student information container, you can click on those custom fields to add those data access tags that you want to use, again, for those custom fields. You'll notice when we navigated to this page, it showed those data access tags that we're using. Those were set up at the district. We are at the building level. So those custom fields, if we go to the district office, so as with the report card, you know that you can have district office settings that apply to all of the buildings within your district. And then at the school level, you're able to override those as needed. From report card settings where we were and we clicked on custom fields, you can also see custom fields is built into the navigation path here. So if we click on custom fields again, now we see those custom fields because they were created at the district level. And you can add additional ones at the building level as needed.
And as always, if you need help setting up your report cards, you want to do something different with your report cards, put in a ticket. We are happy to work with you on that. You'll find it's really, really easy to make this look the way you want it to look.
Absolutely. All right, we have a couple more items that we want to go over. And then again, we want to leave some time here at the end for any questions, discussions. We'll stop the recording before the Q&A at the end. So if you want to wait till then, that's fine too. But a couple more items to take a look at here. With Quick Search, we have enhanced PowerSchool's Quick Search that they have within the enhanced menu. You'll know that you can click on this and start typing to find pages that you are looking for. Currently, we are at the district office. If I started to search for an item that is a building level page, PowerSchool's Quick Search won't show me those pages. But you'll notice as I start to type, the pages are listed, the district pages, but I also have school pages listed. Within those school pages, they are listed here, but I don't have a student selected, so I'm not able to select those pages. So if I had a student that I was working with, we'll pick Brandon again. You'll notice now when I type into that quick search, now I will be able to see those school pages listed, and I'm able to click on them accordingly. It also has what building according to the student that I have selected. So this is helpful again if you're looking for a page, especially with the enhanced menu. Some of those pages, we know that the page names have changed from what they previously were in the classic menu. So that can be a little bit frustrating when you're searching for something and you think, well, maybe it had a name change. Well, maybe it's just a school page and you're at the district level searching for it. So this is helpful to see that information being displayed on the enhanced quick search. When you select any of those school pages, if I select that, again, I am currently in the district office, but if I select one of those options, GPA info for student screens, you'll notice that it changes my school switcher. I'm now at the Apple Grove High School. I'm no longer at the district. This works the same way if I'm at a building and I'm searching for something that is district level. So if I'm looking for my standards, if I'm typing in standards, again, it's going to display my school pages as I'm typing in, and then it's going to list all of those district pages that I can access as needed. When I select those, again, I'm switched to the district office and now can make my selections accordingly. This enhanced quick search, there are, if you are not wanting to use it, if you don't want to use that, there are settings within Manage Profile. Each user clicking their initials going to Manage Profile. If you'll scroll down to the bottom, there is a meta catalog profile settings. This is per user. So there is enable quick search enhancement. It is enabled. So again, if you're a user, you don't want to use that, you could uncheck that and not use it. We find it very helpful. We would encourage users to use it. Additionally, within the meta catalog profile settings, you'll see some other additional items that have been added. Student line text size and student line icon size. You have the ability to change the size of your student line. The default with the enhanced menu, when we switched over to the enhanced menu, the student line was very small. So now you have the ability to make that larger if you would like. Same for the icons. The icons, they were a little bit smaller, so we've added the ability to increase that size by user if you would like to. So that's super helpful. Since we're talking about searching, we also have Power Search. Power Search with on your start page. This was a customization from previously that has been revamped. It has been enhanced and updated. You'll notice when you have Power Search, you can click on this arrow to expand it down. And what Power Search is used for, it is adding the ability to favorite some of the searches that you perform most often. And this is by user, where you can, again, favorite those searches. So if I searched maybe track often, I open up Power Search and I see I have a general tab. I click on the plus and I have my fields. And I can search those, again, those fields that I search most often. I can select those and add them as a favorite here on my Power Search on my start bar. This is helpful. Again, it just saves some time when you're looking for certain items that you, again, perform on a regular basis. It saves users some time. With these, you can add as many as you would like. And you can also start to develop categories. So if I have these in my general tab, I can add an additional tab. And when I navigate to this new tab, I can add some more fields. Maybe there are, we're in an Ohio box, but within your district, maybe you have certain state fields that you search on a regular basis, so you can add those as needed here. You again clicking on this plus searching for that field and adding it. You can rearrange these items as needed. If I wanted my gifted to be first, I could shift it to the left and it moves it accordingly. If I wanted it completely, if I wanted it off of the second tab, I wanted to move it to general, I could shift it left again and go to my general tab, and I see that it's been moved here. Likewise, right moves the same way. You can rename these. You'll see tab 2. Maybe these are my state fields that I search most often, so I want to label that as state. And it'll update accordingly. So you can have all of these tabs again, helpful, saving you some time when you are performing regular searches on a regular basis. To use these, now that you have them favorited, you would click on the item, the field that you're searching, and you'll notice your start bar, your page here has been updated accordingly. So it's automatically going to look at that field. You now have options within your comparators to select. And with this state field, it's going to display the values that are being able to be selected for this specific field. So if I specify a certain value here, I can search for that, and I can search active or active and inactive students by clicking this bar over here. So it's allowing me the option to select students if I want to do a search for both active and inactive. Once I have this set up and I hit search, it's going to yield those results here. And then my search bar goes back to how it was previously. And I can use additional searches as I would like. If I wanted to use a medical alert, if I was looking for maybe a medical alert that it contains information, maybe I wanted it contains B. So somewhere in the medical alert, it's stating something along the lines, maybe the student is allergic to bees, and I just want to search my active students. I can click on the search, and the information will be displayed down below. So again, this is helpful for your frequent searches that you perform. With Power Search, you can easily collapse it, just like we expanded it. If you no longer want to use a field, you can click on it, right-click on it to delete it. Again, you can rename these. You can shift them right to left, reorder items as you want, and collapse that and use as needed. Again, within those manage profile settings, there is an option for Power Search. If we scroll down to the Meta Catalog profile settings, Power Search. Again, it's enabled by default, but if the user does not want to, they can disable that. So some additional search items that provide a little bit more help when searching for certain fields, certain students.
Sally, we have a question. Could the Power Search be enhanced to search for all, meaning any student with a disability in the example you showed?
That again. So we had disability and
right. Any student with a disability.
Mm-hmm. So what you can do with the searches, because again, this is going to show us the values that are available within this field. So what you can do is a compound search within PowerSchool. So if we had selected we selected one value and searched for it within PowerSchool, we can add to that and then perform another search to add to our list. So then you could select multiple ones. Does that make sense to how to do that?
Yes.
You could also, this is using our equal comparator. Remember, you have options of all of the comparators. Thank you, Corey, just put that in the chat. Thank you, Karen and Corey. You have the ability is not blank. So the hashtag is not blank. You could search that as well.
Yeah, and Corey said he'll add that to the list.
Okay. But that's a good question.
And
Any
then
other, go ahead.
there was one back on OIDC. How should we be using the OIDC sync page? Our IT department set up the OID sign-on, but they don't use this page. So this would be the global sync to catch all the new kids.
Yep. So this, if your IT department, if they have already set it up, you'll know that they set it up for all of your users at that moment that they set it up. If we set it up today, it would be for all of our active users as of today. If we have a new student start tomorrow, that's where the districts need to decide what their process is when onboarding that new student or that new teacher. This customization helps with those newly added users. It's identifying anyone and maybe somebody who was, we saw an example, a student was inactive and the district enabled OIDC authentication for their current users. This inactive student returned to the school a month later. So the school used the re-enroll function and they re-enrolled that student, but that student did not have a global identifier because they were not active when the school deployed OIDC authentication. So again, this customization helps in those instances. It identifies any active users within those groups, student group, teacher group, staff group. It identifies them as having a blank global identifier and a core email. So your district, since you've already set it up, this would assist in maintaining your data. Your district may have, your IT department may have a different process that they use with new students. With those third-party registrations, they may have, they may sync that data. You can check with them, but this is just an option, again, to maintain that data for those new students or returning students, staff, so on and so forth. Good question. Any other questions so far? Anything that we've gone over? All right. Well, that is what we had to share with you today. We encourage you to navigate to your Meta catalog page. Take a look at the customizations that are available. Also searching within the Meta documentation for more information on customizations to see if you would like to use that within your districts. Again, when you're on this catalog page, you can resort to see what's available. You'll remember as you navigate to pages, when you're on student pages, if you see the Meta Solutions logo on the page, that is letting you know that there are customizations available on that page within the catalog. So when we are on any of the pages within PowerSchool and we see let's go to our emergency medical page, and we see the Meta Solutions logo in the blue navigation bar. If we click on that, again, it's going to list out all of the customizations we have enabled and all customizations that are available that are not currently enabled. So again, we encourage you as you are on pages within your PowerSchool environments to take a look at that. We roll out new items. We update items on a regular basis. We want to make sure that you don't miss out on some of these great things that we have available. Additionally, as always, if you have any questions related to anything within the customizations catalog, you can contact us at ps.customizations@metasolutions.net. We will put that in the chat so you have that. You can contact us with any questions. We're happy to help answer any of those customizations questions, and we love meeting with you. So please reach out to us as needed.
And I wanted to add two things. One is this was a struggle for us because there are so many customizations and so many good things that we love to show you, which is why we tried to focus on what's new this year. But there are many other customizations that maybe you haven't looked at or maybe you don't know about. So as Sally said, we highly encourage you to go in and look at those. We also are constantly working on new things. We have a huge list of things that we want to work on, that we are working on. So there's always more exciting things to come. And one of those things is, we don't really have time to talk about it, but a new test loader that I think everybody will be excited about. And again, reach out to us because this is a very exciting time for customizations.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and we'll hang on if you have any additional questions. But thank you so much for attending today.